at it, it's called Soul Drive.
Over this area?
Just straight down Lawrence from Pulaski down to Kimball.
Okay.
That whole patch is called Soul Drive,
Why is it called Soul Drive?
as in Seoul, Korea. Because
Okay.
the neighborhood used to be so Korean. Like, it was just and then eventually they started moving out towards the suburbs, and then that's when everyone started coming in. But it's always been like a good mix. I wouldn't say it never felt gentrified. It felt more like families, especially on that side of Kimball, because that's mostly houses and all shit over there.
I do like it out here. When I first moved out here, I moved to Pilsen. And I don't know if you knew this. I'm from California.
No, I didn't know you were from California.
Yeah, from Cali, and I've been here like a year now. When I first moved out here, I didn't know like the geography of Chicago.
Yeah.
And everywhere, I'm sure you know this, but everywhere when people picture Chicago, they're all picturing O Block and King Von and shootings and shit.
Right, yeah.
So like when I moved here, I didn't know where the fuck I was gonna be, and when I saw a bunch of Mexicans, I was actually really surprised by that. I didn't know that we had.
Well, that's the thing is like, yeah, we're a city of like basically it is neighborhoods, but it's each one has their own little distinct makeup to it. So
have you been to New York?
I have been in New York.
Okay, I hear like is the boroughs thing similar to it?
No, the boroughs it's like their own different city. So each borough in New York is like Brooklyn is its own city within itself. Like you go to downtown Brooklyn, it feels like downtown. Like
Okay,
it's wild. So I've only been to Brooklyn and I think Queens and Manhattan, but like everything else is its own little city. So it's basically 5 cities in one.
Okay.
So that's why like here, I mean here it's just on a smaller scale, but it's just like more condensed because this is like our neighborhood. So there's people that have never left Albany Park. There's people that never left Pilsen. There's people that don't leave the South Side. They come up to the North Side. We don't really South Side and North Side don't really mix with each other like that much.
Yeah, I've been noticing.
Yeah, because the thing is that there's no reason to go down there and there's no reason to come up here unless there's certain things in the middle we can't get. But yeah, because I never went to the South Side until I started doing stand up.
Really?
Yeah, I had no reason to be down there.
How was it when you first started going down there? How did it? Was it like a culture shock, or was
it just felt like I was in it wasn't culture shock, but it's just like, all right, I'm not in my hood. I'm not in an area that I know how to get in and out of. So it's just one of those things where it's like, all right, I got to find out where's the expressways, and I'm at a disadvantage being right here right now. So.
That's such an interesting mindset. It's like a war mindset almost.
Yeah, but it's not like I'm scared, but it's like I just know if shit pops off, where can I go to and how can I get out of here? And I don't know the South Side like that. We're like, so that's where it just felt. But I was never like worried about being there. But it was like if something popped off, where am I gonna go? I have no idea where the fuck I'm at.
Did you have not a rough childhood? Because you seem like a fairly calm guy. You seem like a nice guy.
Chill.
I let you in here, so I'm hoping things stay chill. But what was your childhood like up here? Like, was it good?
It was fine. I was an apartment kid, so I was like latchkey kid. I had 2 parents up until like I was like 10 years old, and then they got divorced. And then after that, it just got. I mean, that little situation just got chaotic as far as like the parents divorcing and everything. And then but yeah, I was just a normal kid going to school. It wasn't nothing crazy.
Yeah, were you the funny guy, or were you the
I just cracked jokes. I was always the guy that just kind of like sat in the back and just cracked jokes, but I was never the one that sought attention. It was kind of like if you were in my proximity, you would hear me talking shit and you're like, okay, Abi's he's that guy. Like it's like I was never like one to like draw attention to myself, but it was very much like if you're within earshot, you're like, man, this fucking kid just said something like wild.
Got something to say?
Yeah.
Did you go to college or anything, or were you just?
Nah. Well, I went to one of those for-profit colleges, like the Westwood College of Technology.
Oh, with the commercials?
Bro, the commercials got me because I was like 26 years old, and I'm just like, hey, I'm on couch, not doing nothing. And I was like, fucking, let me just go in and see.
So those commercials work.
Yeah, because they make it like they're just some dude. Like if you're legit sitting there not doing anything, and they're hitting every point. Like media knows what the fuck they're doing. Like,
do you feel lazy, unfocused?
Right? Yeah, like you don't know what you want to do in life. Well, there's these jobs like you can get a job in technology, and I was like, oh, okay. But this was just like when it was like networking. Like they never, that school didn't have the foresight to see, oh, this is where we need to do app building and all this other shit. It was kind of just like, here, come join our school. We're for profit, so we don't care what. My credits can't transfer anywhere, not even a fucking barber school. So it's kind of like, and I don't even do this shit no more. Like it was just a waste of money.
Yeah, college feels like that sometimes. But
the thing is, like, at least if you go to a college, you get the college experience. I was going to school at night in a fucking office building and just sitting there. It wasn't a college experience. You know, there wasn't that life experience of it. It was just like...
You didn't get to go to the dorms and do all
right. Like, I didn't get that, like, the parties and mingle with different kids from other places. It was just like a bunch of adults sitting there like, what are we going to do with our lives?
So you were 26 when you went to...
Yes. Yeah, I was around 26.
It sounds like there was like a shift mentally at that point. Like, so you graduate high school and then what happens? You work?
I was just working.
Okay.
Yeah, so I just graduated high school, and I had just had like a regular, low-paying job, and then I used to work at a video store. Like, that's how old I am.
Yeah, man, showing your age right now, dog.
I was working at a video store.
Was it even a Blockbuster or just a video?
No, it was a West Coast video. It was,
That's
but the thing was, we
stuff.
got beat out by Blockbuster. Blockbuster took us, like, we couldn't compete with them.
Did your video store have the beads, the secret room in the back?
No, it did have a doorway, and it just had the sign that said adult room. And then, like, you would just go back there. And that's what the wild part is that, like, I was 15, 16 years old, and then there's like adults back there, like, but all the dudes, because there wasn't many men that worked in the store. It was just me and like a bunch of women. So all the guys would wait to to check out with me because they're like, but now I'm 15 years old watching this dude. Like, I know you're gonna go home and jerk off. You right. Like, this is fucking weird.
I'm glad we've progressed in terms of porn. I think I'm.
Yeah, that's the struggle that like that's our version of walking up a hill in snow to go to school. Like,
right. Yeah, to go get our porn in public. That's shit. That's funny.
And they would have to go out, and then they had to rent it, and it cost you like $3. Yeah. And it was just like, there's no selecting. You just picked, all right, well, I'm gonna watch this movie for the next 90 minutes.
And I remember it was VHSs, so you knew like when someone kept rewinding to a particular point,
right? Like you can see, like that's their come spot. Like, that's where they would fucking come at. But the thing is, also the tapes were obnoxiously colored. So like old school VHS tapes are usually just black cassette tapes, and these were always bright pink, bright purple, bright whatever. It was just a bright color to separate it. Like, this is not a regular thing, so kids stay away. But they made it colors that kids want to look at.
Right.
Because even the children's movies were never like
that colorful.
Yeah, they were just either white or black, and it was kind of fucked up.
So you're working at this store, 15, 16, just doing your thing.
Well, should I say there's like I was like 19. I was just working.
Okay.
And then they eventually got bought out. They closed. And I remember one day he came in and everyone's just buying up all the inventory. And I was like, oh, I guess we're not working here no more.
You just got fired?
Yeah. No, I just got laid off. But then there was a customer that would go in there, and I think her daughter actually worked at that video store too for a little bit. But she had a job. She worked for a company that they were hiring in the warehouse. So I was all the way so I just went there and applied, and that was like my first time job dealing with other adults. I was like 19.
And at that point, I mean, in your head, it sounds like there was no comedy dreams or anything. It was just
no
work.
Comedy didn't start until I was in my 30s. Like, I had no idea even how to do stand up. I didn't even know. I just saw stand up on TV, and I thought they just picked those people to do this thing. Like, I didn't know there was an open mic process. I didn't know any of that stuff about stand up. I just knew that these guys were on my TV.
They must be famous.
Right. Yeah. So it was like I would see the Def Jams, and you would see all these people. Like, man, where the fuck I didn't know that there was a process to get to that point. I was just like, oh, they just picked them. Like,
you starting your how fucking old are you?
I'm 44. I'll be 45 this year.
Okay, so about 15 years of doing stand up.
Yeah. So yeah, roughly.
Wow. Okay. So then, all throughout your 20s, you just living life, doing your thing, no real direction.
No, I was just working. I was the guy who was like, all right, well, I have this job, and this job pays me enough to live, and then I'll get the next job. Then I went to school. Then I got another job, and so this is my history with every fucking job for the most part. The video store closed, and I go to the next company. That company decides they're going to move to Louisville, Kentucky, so they're going to close. And then I got another job. I was working for Sony, where they would do like the repairs of like equipment and shit like that. And then that job's like, hey, we're moving to San Diego, so we're gonna close.
I think you're just bad luck,
right? And then I went to another company. So after that, I was going through school when I was working at Sony, and they were paying for it, which is great. It was because they would have paid for the whole thing, and I was like, all right, cool. I didn't have to pay. So then that job closed. I went to another company, and then I was there for about like 12 years or something like that. But then they got bought out, closed, and then I went to.
So then what was the moment where you were like, let me try this stand-up thing?
It's this thing. I still didn't know how to do it well into my 30s. And then one day, I remember I given a best man speech at my friend's wedding, and it was great. Like, it wasn't one of those ones that is going to go up on the internet. Like, oh, this guy said you revealed too much, whatever. It was just a good speech. And I got, like, all these 150 people. I got them laughing. I was like, oh, okay, this feels pretty nice. And then one day I'm just sitting at work, and I get an email from a local producer. His name is Mikey O, or Michael Kendo. He's a top Latino independent producer in the city.
Still today?
Yes. Like, he'll sell out any venue. He could put up a comedy show, music, whatever. He'll do it. He'll sell it out. So he actually sent out an email like, "Hey, were you the class clown? Did everyone tell you you're funny? Did everyone tell you?" It was like basically the same thing with the Westwood College. It was like, "Do you do this? Is this?" So it was like,
you get tricked with commercials.
Bro,
easily.
Hell yeah, bro! I am susceptible. Like, I bought all the shit off Instagram. Like, oh, I need dick pills. All right, let me get dick pills. Like, but
so he emailed you, not like, Abi, I saw your speech.
Emailed, okay, because what he would do is he would bring out of town headliners. So let's say they had a show Thursday and then another show Saturday. He's like, so while you're here, why don't you come in early, and then you can teach, or let's say it was a Friday or whatever. He's like, just come in a day early and then just teach a workshop. And then whatever money, I think it was like $35 at the time is what I paid for the workshop with this old school comedian, Rich Ramirez. So he was in town for the weekend for doing shows. Mike's like, here's the opportunity to just make some extra cash. So the guy's like, fuck it, $35. And it was like maybe 15, 20 of us. So he came away with a nice little chunk of change. And it was like,
what year was this?
2000, either 8 or 9. I think it was closer to 2009. Like,
okay.
Yeah, it was like 2008.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. And then, so then he would just do the workshops. And then I was like, okay. So now that guy got us into, like, teaching us how to write jokes. So it was basically like a guided open mic. And then so it was like a 2-day thing, and then I was like, all right. And then he did it again. He's like, hey, I'm doing another workshop with another comic. And I was like, all right, well, I paid money and I did that. And then I just did like 4 or 5 of those workshops with him. And then eventually he was just like, hey, all right, I'm going to put on a show. You guys have been coming to these workshops. You're on the show. You got 7 minutes. And then that's where I did this was the first time I went to the South Side. It was this place called Watra on 47th and like Pulaski. And Joey Villagomez was Mikey O's resident host at that spot.
I know that name. Why do I know that name? Joey Villagomez?
Yeah, he's you'll know. He's a little short Mexican dude.
Okay.
Comedian. Yeah. He hasn't been around lately because he hurt his leg, but he's a comedian in Chicago.
So you took comedy classes essentially.
Yeah.
That's interesting because I've always had heard such a negative stigma of that.
The problem with the comedy classes that people feel is that they're guided towards like telling people that, oh, I can make you funny and stuff like that. And it's like, but it's a comedian that you don't know, that you've never seen, that you know is a failed out or whatever, and he's just trying to come up on. But like with these, it was never, I'm going to try to make you funny. It was like, here's what we got to do. Here's how you write a joke. You still have to supply the joke. You still have to be the funny person in it. So it was never like, it was never just, you had to be funny. And if you weren't, the number of people that kept going kept fading away, and then there was a few of us that made it through. But it was always optional. It wasn't like we had to go classes and shit like that. It was just like, it was a 2-day thing, 2-day workshop. So it wasn't really classes, it was workshops.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So then by the time I got done with those and I did my first open mic, which was at Kohl's.
Okay.
And this was a weird day because they had followed the list completely, like in order.
That wasn't normal?
No, that's not, because then, people come in, they get bumped, and it was like, but I was actually, I signed up number 13. I went up 13th, and I did like, I think it was like the 4 minutes. And, but I was already, the guy was like, well, how long you been doing? Like, this is my very first time, because I already had the joke structure. I knew how to fucking do everything, because I was preparing for the show that I was doing that March. And so the workshops actually helped me, because it's like, one, I got tips, and then I know they taught you how to edit shit, and then basically you went up in front of those people, and you told the class like it was open mic. So it was basically the same vibe as open mic.
That sounds really productive. Like, I know that, or at least my experience in this is that people, I don't know, in really trying to do this as a career, one of the things I've not been enjoying is the griminess that can come with comedy.
Yeah.
And I've experienced people that have this kind of very manipulative, and it sounds like in this situation it was pure. It was about really getting good.
Yeah, because those comics that were there were from out of town, so they didn't have anything to lose by helping out this scene. It was like, I'm just giving you advice. it was never. They didn't have that crabs in a bucket mentality where we're just pulling each other down. So they would just come in and then and they were older too. They weren't like new comics trying to help out, like where they're worried about their positioning.
Right.
And that was the thing too. Is like I don't know how it is now because I'm already at a position where I don't like I can still go do mics and all that other stuff, but I'm not in a spot where I'm worried about like with the next guy, like, oh, that guy got booked. How the fuck that guy got booked? And it's like, I still have those thoughts, but it's just like, all right, I still get booked there too. It just wasn't my time to get booked.
Did you ever? So when I hear that you started at 30, that actually makes me feel good because I started I always wanted to do stand up as a kid, but I was I'm a young black kid in the suburbs or whatever. So like everyone's like, oh, we play basketball. It's the 90s.
Yeah.
Put on a jersey, go play basketball. And so I didn't really get into stand up until I was about 25, I want to say, and really taking it seriously. And there was something in my head that was always like, well, Eddie Murphy started when he was 14, and Dave Chappelle. And
there's that thing. That's the thing too. Is like, man, these guys have so many years on it. But it's like, have you heard like what a 20-year-old when he's talking? It's like, okay, so now it's if those people grew up with adults and they have those references. So like that's something like you hear about Eddie Murphy starting at 14, but you don't know what his environment was around before that time. So, you don't know how they interacted, what their mentality was at 14. They might have had like immature thoughts, but then you see somebody now you get hearing these 20-year-olds and like, oh, okay, so you're making not this talking shit, but you're doing Dragon Ball Z references, but you're also in a group of fucking 30, 40-year-olds and it's not hitting with them, like they don't get it,
right?
Or like a suburban crowd doesn't get it, and they're like, oh, okay, I don't. So and then it's like now that just comes like, oh, then maybe they're too young.
Yeah, and there's something to be said about life experience and to have something.
Yeah, and to say something, but it's like also you could be one of them prodigies that just come in like
right.
Eddie Murphy told stories about his dad, and he was just a great storyteller. Mm-hmm. Dave Chappelle had a different view, like a viewpoint of the world based through a black man's eyes, and he's just like, all right, at this young age he was able to hit those notes. Mm-hmm. So it was always kind of crazy. But like sometimes you get a young kid and you're like, you can clearly tell that's a young person. Like,
right.
Yeah.
So the vibe when you first started doing stand-up out here, it's going to be maybe a weird question, but like what was the vibe out here? Because I moved out here not post-quarantine, but as things were kind of opening up, and the vibe I've gotten so far is there was some sort of hierarchical structure that kind of got not destroyed, but leveled out.
Yeah, so there was, because what really changed everything, honestly, was Lincoln Lodge.
Okay.
Because Lincoln Lodge, it is just that space that's over there now. Have you been there?
Yeah, I was there last night.
You just know it as that big venue that's there now.
Three stages, a bunch of independent shows.
So imagine that didn't exist before the pandemic.
Oh, so Lincoln Lodge is a post-pandemic.
Lincoln Lodge as an institution has been there for a long time.
Okay.
But they've always just did shows. They didn't have a venue where they had a space like this. So now this is their own performance space where they can just put on shows so now you can do fucking three mics a night without even leaving a building.
Right.
So that's where that whole thing got leveled out, because like now everyone's can get stage time as much as they want. And there's not those select mics that only once a week, and then you're not relying on trying to do the Laugh Factory mic, because Laugh Factory mic is only one time. Like Zany's doesn't even do a mic. Yeah. And then Comedy Bar, I think they just do a mic on Wednesday or Mondays.
They started. They had a weird system before, but they've started, I think, streamlining it a bit. So for you, it was the opportunities were a little less. You had to kind of fight for it more?
Yeah, like that's why when I hear people complaining about not getting booked at Laugh Factory, I'm like, bro, I sat at that bar for like a year just waiting, and what I used to do was I would see the lineups and I was like, oh, I know that person's not in town. So I'd go to the Laugh Factory and I'd sit there. It's like, oh, that person's not here. I'm sitting here, like, let me just do 5 to help you stretch out. And then that's how I eventually just kept doing it. So that was the thing where it's like, when I hear people complaining about not getting booked, it's like, well, you're not putting effort. You're just saying I need to get booked. But they don't know you, they don't see you, they don't do all this other shit. So it's like, well, what are you complaining about? You haven't put forth that effort yet.
What gave you that little, I guess, being so driven in that? Because I know like comedy weeds out the weak pretty quickly, especially from what I've seen in the South Side. Like when I go down there and God damn, dude, I went to Funny at Francis. I went there, 2 weeks ago, and just now I had to get new shoes. Apparently, those
those
are the rules. You go to Funny and Francis, they don't like your shoes, they don't listen to you, and then you got to get new shoes.
Yeah, it's a respect thing. It's just like, all right, so, and that's the thing that I noticed about like the north side is like the south side is more about the presentation, like what you have to look like you're performing there. And sometimes you see comics and it's like, oh, you don't care, like. Yeah, and it's the one thing is like just look like you care. Like you have to stand out a little bit from the people that you're performing. Like if you just look busted, they're gonna be like, all right, well we can't take this guy serious unless you just have the greatest fucking jokes.
Right. I've been really enjoying, like I keep saying this, but the South Side feels like it really like a fraternity. Like you like. Not hazing, like you got to go through the gauntlet and earn your right to be there.
Yeah. It's just, I mean, it even happens like when they're at the Laugh Factory and you got like when the green room and there's a bunch of black comics in there, like white comics are like, all right, they walk right the fuck back out because they know it's like you're gonna hear some shit. It's a different way of talking too. Like we don't give a fuck about this woke shit. Like we're going to talk. We're going to have a discussion about this. It's gonna be foul. It's gonna be whatever, and like you're gonna hear trigger words. Well, trigger words to them, and then they'll leave the room, but they don't want to sit there and get roasted by anybody either.
I feel like you have to, you have to build that thick skin.
Yeah, you know? It's the same thing as like with social media. Like if all your if everybody you follow has the same thoughts as you, what are you gaining? Now you think that you're right because everyone's agreeing with you. It's like, yeah, you don't have any counterpoints in your feed. Right. To level you out. So now you need those counterpoints. You need the same thing with comedians. Like you need to get to a different part where like these people don't really fuck with you like that, or they keep you at a distance and they'll fuck with you eventually, but you have to earn the respect. It's not just one of those things like, oh, we're just gonna agree with you because you said these things. Like, no, we don't care. Like
when you first started, how long until you felt like, oh, okay, I'm not top dog or anything, but like I can hang. Like people got me right now.
I don't know when to say, like, because when I started, I was doing the Mikey O shows, and it was always packed rooms, but there was always a good vibe, a good energy. So it was always like, all right. So it was like you felt like you were just fucking crushing, but everyone was having good sets. So it was like okay, but I think once I started working regularly the weekends at the Laugh Factory, where I was on their Fridays and Saturday shows, is when I was like, okay, like I can hang here.
How long did that take you?
I want to say I'm trying to think of when the Laugh Factory opened. I don't know if it was 2011 or 12, but it took me about a year because they went through so many different managers and shit like that. But then it was just a year of them seeing me consistently. So then when a new manager got hired, and like Curtis started as like I think their social media guy before there was really that heavy social media. And then, but I was there when he got hired, so I was always just there, like, oh, we know Abi. But then they saw me get better as well, and then eventually as they moved up, that's when I started like, oh, Abi's been here, Abi, saying. So it's like, but then it wasn't like I just got the spot because I was there all the time. Right. It was like I was actually funny. I was actually making people laugh.
You were consistent and consistently improving.
Yes,
that seems. Yeah. I'm sorry.
No. I'm saying that's exactly what it was. It was just I was always consistent, but they always saw like there was an improvement there. Like, oh, he's getting better. We see, different things.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
When did you feel like you found your voice, I guess? Or what is so a little bit about me. I have like ADHD and like memory issues. Yeah. So it's hard for me to sit and like watch people. Even if they're great, sometimes I just get antsy and I gotta like.
Yeah, I don't like watching stand up sometimes either, just because it's like if they have a thought that's like similar to mine, like I gotta go. I don't want it to be like, but
yeah. When did you feel like you found your voice or who you are? I guess.
I don't know if I have. Like honestly, I try not to be like. I'm trying to get to a point where I'm like funny, but I'm also kind of making a point. And then, but also like when I first started, I was a little like had different observations, and it was just like different silly things. So I'm still trying to blend those two things where it's my personality. But then it's like sometimes I'll get off stage like, man, like, am I too chill as a person? Because in normal life, I'm really chill. And then I get on stage and I'm standing and I got my hand in the mic stand and I'm just talking and like I'm not really moving much. Yeah. And I'm like, man, maybe I got to crank it up a little bit. So like if I'm a 5 off stage, like let me get to a 7 on stage or like get it to an 8. And that's kind of where I'm trying to find out right now. Is like, and then it's like the stuff that I'm writing is like, all right, am I just saying this because that's what's in the news, or is that because what the tone is right now, or if this is something I really feel, or you know what I'm saying? So it's like I'm still trying to find that
something.
thing. Yeah, like
Yeah, I think I get you. That like it's an ever evolving process.
Yeah.
That you as a person, people aren't. I mean, ideally, a person isn't stagnant. Like if you're one note your whole life, then what did you do?
right. Yeah. So it's like you can see in the beginning I was more like, oh, I don't even really have footage from back in the day, but I was a little more animated or just a little back and forth. Now I just see myself on stage and I'm like, oh, I'm kind of just chill, just kind of just standing there. But also depends on the room. Like if the room's lively, I'll be a little bit more lively. And that's the thing I'm trying to fix. It's like, how do I maintain regardless of what the energy of the room is? But then you got to think like, all right, these people are chill. Do they want somebody that's gonna be fucking in their face yelling or like that loud energy? Do they want to be chill and then just get some laughs in? Because you might, you do a room and there's only 30 people in there and it's a small room, but they're having a great time. But you kind of just match your energy, so you kind of just like talking shit with the bullshit with them, and it's like, all right, well, that felt weird because it's like maybe I should have cranked it up a little bit, but then I'm like, I'm not that person, so why am I even thinking about trying to crank it up? So it's like, let me eliminate that thought. I don't know. It's just always you're constantly. That's what I tell everybody. This is the only job I've ever wanted to get better at.
Right.
Every other job I was like, oh fuck it, whatever. You're gonna give me the 3% cost of living increase. I'll be fine, whatever. But this one's like, oh no, I actually want to get better at this.
There's a sense of pride in what you make.
Yeah.
You do seem to have a real passion for it's a subdued old school masculine passion, but you got this like Uncle Tio vibe, but which is redundant, I think. verbally Tio, that's very redundant, but you do seem to have a passion about this, and I'm wondering where that came from, because it sounds like, I mean, from what I picture, your whole life you were just kind of skating through. You were making jokes, whatever, but you weren't in people's faces. And then one day it was just like, oh, something clicked. That's what the
it was
vibe
just you found something you liked. Like
Yeah.
I found like, making people laugh was fucking great. Like it's a great feeling. Complete strangers, like, and the thing is, it's they're just there to see you, so it's not like you have to have a conversation with them. Your conversation is like, I said this, you laughed, okay, now I'm gonna keep talking. Like,
but when you get off stage, do you wait and talk to them, or do you just disappear?
I won't talk. I try not to talk. I'll stand by the bar. I like seeing people walk out. I like seeing like how the night went. I do like getting like, oh, you were funny. Like I like that. Like, and then you also got to like try to get followers and stuff like that. So, but I don't like having the conversation. It was like, now they want to talk to me about comedy, and
They try to suck you in,
right? And that's the thing is like, well, they'll ask me how I started, and I'll tell them, but then it's like it's such a long conversation to have right there when everyone's trying to leave,
right.
And I'm like, I don't really want to have that conversation, like, or then they try to like, then you get the people that try to run bits by you and all types of shit. So it's just like, yeah.
And you, okay. So basically, finding something that you just enjoy doing and would do for free. It sounds like if you had all the money in the world, you would still do stand up. From what I gather.
Yeah, I would try to. Yeah, but it'd be a different perspective. It's like, now I got all the money in the world. Like,
right.
What am I going to talk about?
Have you gotten to the point where you live off this?
I was for a while.
Okay, and then
pandemic hit, and it was like everything just went. Cost of living just went way to fuck. I'm like, now I got to get back to having a job right now.
Okay, but you're building. You got momentum.
Yeah, I'm trying to get back into it. Yeah.
Are you? Do you hit the road? I assume.
I try to as much as possible, but still not getting out there like much as I can. Like, but that's also just like effort on my part now. I got the job, things slow down. It's like I'm making excuses, but at the same time, it's like I can still just send out emails.
Right.
But now it's just like, all right, now where am I getting these emails? And like, do I have a quality clip? Do I have something like? So I'm kind of still at the whim of other people, and that's what sucks.
And yeah, I guess an independence thing. I think that probably comes from building a fan base, like people that are willing to pay to see you gives you leverage. I assume.
Yeah.
Do you plan on staying in Chicago, or what's the goal?
I like staying in Chicago. I feel like even now with social media and the internet, you don't really have to go anywhere. You can still get discovered. It's not like the old school way of going to New York. And, I guess the goal for going to New York is just to make sure, tighten up your sets out there. It's just a different environment. But I don't know about moving. It's just, I've been in New York. It's fucking crazy expensive. And it's like, I'd literally be starting from zero.
Right,
and that's a hard thing for me to do. It's like I built up something here. I have, I know I don't need to start from zero. Right. Granted, I'll be started from zero, kind of like hitting the ground running, but it's still starting from zero, and it's just like
nobody knows you out there, and as much skill as you have, it's not like you can get up and kill, and everyone's like, oh, okay, well, Abi's clearly now on. Right, I get you. Yeah. I get you. And did you? One of the things I've been doing for myself when I moved out here was trying to build like a healthy relationships with other people that are like-minded that I can roll with and do comedy that will push me. I push them. I came from a place where it was very negative, I guess, and that's one of the reasons why I came out here was just clean slate. And it does feel helpful to have, I guess, friends, like have a group of people that ride with you in this because it feels so fucking lonely. Do you have like a crew, or are you?
No, actually, because I got into it so late, and that's the thing. I feel like when people come in from out of town, you start doing comedy, and that's your friend circle. That becomes your friend circle. So for me, I already had a friend circle from living here and growing up, and so it's like that's who I go hang out with. Those are just regular people that don't do stand up. There's people that I do stand up that I'm cool with, and I'll hang out with, from time to time. But as far as like a friend circle, and it's not like I'm talking shit like I can't hang out with these comics. It's just that I just have other friends that I'd rather go see and hang out with and not have to talk about comedy or deal with these people's frustrations about comedy when it's like, it's just the...
Do you, what do you do outside of comedy, speaking of that? Do you have hobbies and shit? You feel like you have a soccer league?
I mean, I'll go play golf. I'll go fucking like...
You play golf?
Yeah, I'll golf. I'll play video games. I do shit like, And I work and then that's it. Like, I just hang out with my other friends and then hear about their lives. I'm like, all right, well, that's kind of funny. Let me fucking...
You seem like you like to do old man shit.
I guess I'm getting to the point where it's like, I just like I don't mind going out drinking, but it's like, all right, we go drinking and like, oh, where are we going to next? I'm like, next. I'm going home. Like, what are you running from? Like, what's gonna happen?
It's 11 p.m. I'm good. Like,
it's like, okay, if I get to like 1, I'm like, all right, where are we going to? I'm like, I'm not going nowhere next. Like, I can go home. I'm fine with that.
Did you used to be like a party dude? You used to be drinking a lot?
In my 20s, I would hang out all the time. But like once I got into stand-up, it was just like, all right,
you have a focus now.
Yeah, I just kind of want to go home. Like,
I get you.
It's like I'll hang out afterwards, but after that, it's like, why do we have to go to a 4 a.m. bar? Like, what's gonna happen there?
Right. See, I feel like you've kind of passed the point of trying to pick up girls at a bar. Like, you too tired for all that?
No, I was never that dude anyway.
Really?
Try to pick up girls at a bar. Yeah, I was never. Like every chick ever hollered at, like, I never really, it's always been a proximity thing where they just saw me and then they would talk to me, and then like I was never one thirsty like, all right, I gotta go out and meet these chicks. I was like, I never had an issue like meeting chicks. And then I've been in relationships too, so it was like that was easier as well.
Are you in a relationship now?
I am seeing somebody, but I was in a relationship before, like for like 6 years. And then, so
I'd imagine. I mean, I know that comedy kind of wanes on relationships in a lot of ways. I don't know if that.
In the beginning it did, but then like with the beginning early relationships, because I was trying to do it every single night.
Right.
And then after a while, once I started realizing like I don't have to do this every single night. Like for me to do open mics is kind of, what am I going to get from 3 minutes? When if I can just do a regular show and they'll give me 12, and I can just work that new shit in there.
Yeah.
So I don't need to be out every night. If I can just get one of these local shows, even if it pays me $20 or whatever the fuck, or doesn't pay anything as a donation room or some shit, but at least I'll get those 12 minutes and I can work the stuff out. It's because 3 minutes is, when you get to a certain point, 3 minutes is a short amount of time.
Yeah.
Because it's like if I'm working on a tag or I'm doing something else, I have to get the whole front part of that joke out, and by that time that's already 2 minutes. Now I had to get this other shit. So it's like I don't stay out as, like, I'm not out every night like that.
I get you. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I've been I hang out with Rachel Hall, obviously, you know Rachel, and we've not argue, but we go back and forth about that a lot, because she's been out here getting booked and stuff, so she'll do time. She has like more time to add in these little jokes, and I feels like for me, because I'm new out here and I'm still, finding my way and making sure people recognize that I'm good at the shit, that like right now my options are only to go to open mics every night. And
well, that's the thing is like, so until you get well known or more known, and then you start getting those 10 to 12 minute spots, you'll start to see like, man, do I got to sit here and wait through 30 people for 3 minutes? And by the time I get up, there might only be 4 people in there. Like, what am I getting from that other than just the cadence of saying it?
Right.
but you're not getting the proper cadence because it's like
because these are comics.
You're not, and you're kind of like unmotivated to do it.
Yeah, I get you. It's something I'm working on my ego when it comes to that. That like I know you were talking about like the idea of people newer comics being like, why am I not getting booked? Why am I not getting booked? And I had that similar feeling a few months in when I came out here. I would think it was in the winter. I started to get real frustrated where I was like, man, I've been doing this for years. I've just been doing it in a different place.
Right. And that's what the same thing I was saying about going to New York.
Right.
Like, all right, so now I'm
starting over.
Yeah.
And it is, I think it was healthy. It's like healthy to be humbled. And I learned coming out here, I learned like, oh, I'm not nearly as good as I thought I was.
Right.
Like I've brought this up multiple times, but I was at the Laugh Factory and I just got thrown up on a show for like a little bit of time, which was appreciated. I went up and it was fine. It was like, I didn't bomb, but it was like fine. It was meh. I got off and this dude, I think I can say his last name properly now, Jeff Asmus.
Yeah.
He went up and just fucking destroy. Oh my god! And my head was down that whole time in the train, and I sat in the snow longer than I needed to just so I could feel the pain. And it was one of those realizations of going to the South Side and realizing like, oh fuck, man, there's so many aspects of this that I need to work on.
But you didn't see Jeff Asmus when he first started.
I did not.
When he was basically a fucking prop comic where he brought
fuck
books.
You, really?
He's fucking hilarious now, but like, I remember me and Joey Villagomez, we did a show in somewhere in outside of Madison.
Yeah.
And he was the host. And then he had like books with him. Like he would just do different things. He had this poster board that he would show. Like it was he was completely different than what he is now.
Yeah.
And then eventually he got to the point where like, that shit wasn't flying. And then but he kept doing it, got better. And now that's where you saw him at the point where like he's ripping the stage apart.
Yeah.
But you didn't see all the shit that he was doing. So when he came to Chicago the first time, he had to redo. He restarted. He might have been the big shit up in Wisconsin. Then he comes here and he's like, all right, well, now I got to fucking reboot. And he just battled it, grinded it out.
Were you, because I know when I first started, there was a good point where I was just Chris Rock on stage. I was just black people, right? And white people. Like, I was just Chris Rock.
All right.
And not even a good version of Chris Rock, just a really shitty, lanky version of Chris Rock. What were like your quirks in the beginning that you have learned to no longer do?
Honestly, the only thing is just like learning how to speak well, like without seeing the ums and the likes and all that stuff. Like I'm still trying to figure that stuff out because I watch clips of mine. And I'm like, man, I say like a lot.
Yeah.
Or and then my sets also aren't the same. Like the punchlines are always the same. How I get there might be worded different, so it's not a consistent. Like you can watch one thing, is like, okay, well, you didn't do that this time, so it's like I don't have that consistency within the set. Where it's like, okay, you can say this whole thing, you just know what the punchline is going to be, and you know what the setup for it is. But like sometimes, like just the wording isn't different, so I'm very inconsistent with how I don't have like two sets I can show back to back. It's like, okay, you did the exact same thing, and I think I need to get that.
You want to be able to
to be able to do that, so that way it's like, all right, that's the set. I know how to tell that joke. I know that's the way to tell that joke. Just leave that there, and then you can add tags to it, but leave that part of the joke there, because sometimes it just doesn't. You might fuck it up and like, oh man, I forgot to say this thing. So I want to get to the point where I'm not saying I forgot to say something. It's like, oh, this is the script of that joke.
Right.
It sounds fucked up, but I had to deliver it without. Like it's the first time I ever told it, but I feel like it needs to be a little bit more scripted versus like free. Like, oh, I'll get to the punchline. I know how to get to the punchline. Like, nah, I need to get to the point where it's like
really clean it up.
Yeah, you've seen those clips back to back, and like, okay, that's his set. That's the joke.
That's funny. That sounds almost like the perfect middle ground between the South Side and the North Side to me. When I go to I mostly go to mics either way. When I go to mics on the North Side, it feels scripted. Like when I sit there and I'm watching a lot of comics that are at open mic level, it feels like, okay, I say this, then I say this, then I say this, punchline. I say this, punchline. And it is professional. It's clean, it's crisp. I can hear the format, but it does feel like I'm listening to a robot tell me jokes.
Yeah.
And then in the South Side, it's super loose and it never feels.
That's why they always run the light.
Oh my God. Yo, man, when I tell you, every time I go down to the South Side, I'm like, well, let me prepare to be here till 3 a.m. because I don't know what the fuck. I don't know if I'm gonna get on stage. I don't know if Leon's gonna be like, yeah, I don't feel like hitting this nigga up right now.
Right. That's the thing is like you'll get bumped and it's like, all right, well, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a time. I early on went to Laugh Therapy, Just Nisha's room, and it felt like every time I went down there, I was fucking embarrassing myself. Like the first time I went down there, I didn't understand that. No, maybe it was like the second time. I didn't understand that like it's not where you signed up. It doesn't matter.
No, but that's how it is on mics here too. Sometimes it doesn't matter. Like Cole's. People sign up and they just keep getting bumped and bumped and bumped. So it's just like, all right, well, what the fuck is going on here?
Right.
But I'm sure the South Side is a little bit more.
It was just aggressive. And then there was a time when I went up to the host and I was like, hey man, I gotta go. I'm gonna just go. And he was like, no, it's fine. I got you. And I think I interrupted a conversation he was having with another comic. Because then that comic went up and didn't say me, but was clearly talking about me. It was like, back in my day, Bernie Mac bumped me all the time, nigga. And, you got to pay your motherfucking dues. And then I went up and I was like, so he was talking about me. And it's, I've learned to not take it so personally. Like I'm a pretty emotional person. And I've learned to be like, okay, this is part of the culture of it, and to embrace yourself in the culture, you just gotta keep your chin up.
But the thing is also, they don't know you, and then once they get to know you, like, oh, okay, yeah, come on.
Right.
That's when you just earn the respect of that. Like, it's just a different. It's not impossible. It's not always like that. You just got to get through that part of it,
and keep getting better.
Right, and you have to keep getting better, and then you get to the point where it's like, all right, well, this guy's good. Like I fuck with him.
Right.
Let's bring it and then they know you. Like, oh shit, Aaron's here again.
Yeah, I had a moment like that actually when I was waiting for the mic at Laugh Factory, and this guy came up. He was trying to like start a conversation with me, and he was clearly like he was real timid.
Yeah.
So just the how long you been doing comedy? Like what else the fuck do you say to somebody?
Right.
And they're like, he's been like 7 years. Immediately I was like, no. No, I didn't say anything, but I was like, no, I can feel that you haven't been doing this for 7 years.
Right.
And that coldness that I felt when I first got here is what I think I was presented. I was like, I've been here. I don't know you. Get the fuck away from me. So
right.
I get now why people react the way they do. Motherfuckers show up and they disappear like so fast.
And it's like, I'm not gonna. So this, even people ask me, like they'll ask me, send me messages on Instagram or whatever, like, hey man, you got any advice? I'm like, I'll be at this show, or I'll be at the Laugh Factory. Meet me there, and I'll talk to you. If you don't meet me there, then you're not serious about it. So I'm not gonna waste my time. And that's the thing is like, I'll be at the show. And then eventually you can message me, like if I've seen you put the effort in, like then I'll talk to you. But like if you're just gonna DM me like, oh, how do I get started? Meet me here.
Yeah.
I'll put you in a direction, but I need you to be here. Otherwise, I'm feeding your little
fantasy.
Yeah, your fantasy of the point, like, oh, so this is what I got to do, and then you never do it. So I need to see you there to do it, and then that'll solve that issue right away.
I think I have a. By the way, if you need to go, so.
Like a couple more minutes.
Couple more. Okay,
yeah,
we're good. And we gotta do the cute, creepy picture thing. I have a whole little project I'm doing, man. I want what I want this podcast to be is a place where, like an inventory of all the comics in Chicago. If you want to get to know, like, oh, I want to know what Abi's like, or whatever. I guess the last thing I'm curious about is. Dog, I saw your fucking picture. You're on the fucking thing.
Yeah, I feel like I got my jersey retired because I ain't been booked there since they put that motherfucker up. They're like, here you go. You're on the wall now.
In memory.
Yeah, it was like, no, but that was cool though. Like,
how's first feel, man?
It feels good. I mean, to go, like from not doing it to like waiting so long to do it, and it's like, all right, now when they decided to put the picture, I was like, because I remember Curtis sent it to me. He was like, oh, we're gonna put these up, but I thought they were just gonna be little posters, like little regular size posters. And then
like stained glass,
right? And then somebody I guess when they put them up, they filmed it or like they recorded themselves on Snapchat or I think it may have been Rachel. She recorded it, and I was like, oh shit, it's the entire fucking window. Of the Chipotle, and I'm looking like I got a good spot. I'm right there in the corner.
Yeah, man.
I'm not towards the entrance, but I'm right there in the corner. It's like, all right, like I fucks with this, and I told Curtis when I saw him, I was like, damn, I feel like I got my jersey retired. It was like, but I'm still playing. Like, like what do I do? But no, that's pretty dope. I ain't gonna lie. I still haven't been able to take a picture in front of it because the lighting's always bad at night. Sure. So I want a good fucking daytime picture.
Yeah, man. Congratulations on all of this work that you clearly have been doing, man.
Yeah, I mean, that's the things, like I said, where it's the only job I wanted to get better at, and it's fucking, so far it's working out.
That's good.
But it could be better, but at the same time, it's like, all right. It's a reflection of the effort that I'm putting in. So it's like, if I'm putting this much effort into Chicago, like I got to start putting that much effort into getting onto the road more and just fucking start sending clips. So even like trying to build up the social media shit. Yeah. Like, I get you. I'm not gonna get followers now. I'm the fucking everywhere is like I was a real comic is like REAL. Now I'm a REEL comic. Like because that's all it is fucking reels and TikToks. Like I gotta get my views up.
Yeah, man. I think I'm excited to watch it, and I'm glad that you did this shit with me.
Oh yeah, man. I like doing this. I like doing little podcasts and shit. It's always fun.
Let's do this picture so I can get you to do your work.
Let's go.
All right.